purpose for having this meeting that kind of really drove us to have this meeting tonight is that we're not holding an election this fall because we don't have enough candidates to vote for anybody out the island. And elections provide a really great platform for public discourse. And we want to hear from you as citizens and get some of this and be able to have an opportunity for this discourse. So we picked some topics that we think are the things that we hear about a lot from you as citizens as we go about our days, and we will address those things. We will try to have a little time at the end for questions or your topics, and if we need to, we'll schedule another meeting. But we're not going to go all night tonight because I don't know about Carrie, but I'm still tired from one of those days, so I'm not going to go all night tonight because I might get badly behaved. I'm kidding. So what we're going to try to do is, I'm going to kind of keep us on time through, and if we have to stop something, we might stop a discussion, move on to the next topic, and try and come back at the end if we've got time. Because I don't want to, sometimes you get all into a rabbit hole, and then you miss other things that are important. So to start out, I wanted to introduce you. I'm Wendy Prey. I'm your new mayor. That's really weird to say, but I love you guys. I'm glad to serve you. And we've got 4 members of our council here, and one I can see his face on this, on his wife's phone here, so he's kind of dialing into us. That's Dave Pratt. And then we have Doral Kinnison. Yeah, everybody wave to Dave. We have Doral Kinnison here, and Carrie Malkovich, and Paul MacArthur, and Larry Henry. I always want to say Larry Miller, and so I always have to make sure I don't. I always have to check myself. Anyway, so we are glad to see you all out here tonight.
Sit up here to have friends, and then you can. He would like me to sit up there. I'm not sure I want to sit up there. Yeah, sure.
Before we get started, there were just a couple of things I wanted to just talk about quickly. We will probably not be holding a chipper day this fall. The spring one, because of the fires, and we lost our hot shots fighting fires, and then the branches all sat out on the road for too long. In the spring, it's not so dangerous because the fire hazard isn't as high, but in the fall, we just don't want to take that risk. Chief Northup is looking into maybe some other possibilities, but he doesn't know what he can work out yet. He's talked about maybe placing some containers through the city that you could come and put things in, but we don't know if we can arrange it. We will do our best, but for now there is no chipper day planned for fall. Okay, so know that, and so don't start chopping branches and putting them on your curb because we'll come. Well, there's no curb on the edge of your road because we'll come and tell you got to move them because they'll be dangerous. Also, just this resurfacing of Woodby Hills Drive it looks beautiful. We're going to get it striped soon. It was pretty much routine since we just resurfaced the. Dave, you're being really
Sorry,
loud.
I know. We can hear you.
So you need to mute your side,
So
Dave.
mute your side.
He's typing notes.
Sounds like it's going.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, it looks beautiful. It is kind of separate from the road repairs we're doing through the city. This is kind of the regular maintenance of the new road that we put in, keeping it up. So if you have a road that really needs to be repaired, don't be freaking out like, why are they doing Woodland Hills Drive? Again, it's part of the regular maintenance.
So that was actually warranty work.
Okay, warranty work.
So they didn't charge us to come back and do it.
Okay. Yes, because there were some problems in the smoothness and things when they first did it, and they're coming back for warranty work to repair it. So anyway, for those of you that are wondering, like, why are they doing Woodland Hills Road Drive one more time when my road needs to be fixed? We're still on it. All right, let us start out tonight with. Let me talk about. I would like to hear from you about taxes and a possible roads fee. So let me tell you what I'm thinking. Hold on just a second. Can we open these doors? I don't know about you, but I think it's really hot. It's probably all hot air I'm seeing. So our property taxes are high, and we know that, and you know that. But the way this county structures them, they hold them stable for us. So from year to year, we collect the exact same amount of property taxes unless we raise taxes. Now, every individuals go up and down depending on how property values fluctuate. So some years you may see increases and decreases, but the city's collecting the same dollar amount, basically, unless we raise taxes or lower taxes. That means as inflation's happening, we're kind of losing money. There's an argument for us to do little incremental increases regularly, or kind of traditionally in Woodland Hills, we waited till we really need the money and then made increases, and sometimes they pinch. I'll tell you, as the mayor, the idea of little incremental increases so that it never really hurts sounds really great, but as Wendy, I hate that idea. I think it's your money. You should keep it till we need it, honestly, you know? And then if we really need it, so there's those two philosophies, but you may disagree. I kind of want to hear what you all have to say. Tom, I'm not going to ignore you, but I have one more thing to say before I take a comment. The other thing is that the mayor of Mapleton just told me that in their city, they collect a roads fee. And it's basically a user fee, and because it's set up as a enterprise fund, then that money can only be spent on roads. And how they did it was they had Utah State University come down, study all their roads, say what exactly you would have to do to maintain all the roads and get the longest possible life out of every road you have in your city, and what maintenance would have to be done. They budgeted that money, and they figured out across their city how much that would cost everybody, and everybody pays a monthly fee, sort of like you pay your water bill and you pay your you pay your garbage collection. And then we don't pay for the roads as much out of our general fund. We pay for that maintenance and upkeep out of the roads fee. There are pluses and minuses of that. One of the minuses is that then it's not taxes, so you couldn't write it off. One of the pluses is you can lock that money in and it can't be used for anything else. It can't be used for curb and gutter, it can't be used to stripe, it can only be used to keep the road a good road. So it's an intriguing idea for me, and I'm the poor city manager there, and I have been playing phone tag for literally 3 weeks. The poor guy, he's been really trying to get a hold of me, and I'm trying to get him back to find out exactly how that works. I don't know a lot about it yet, but I'm curious how you feel about it. Tom?
And that we would lower
Just-
property taxes.
Yes. If we did something like that, we would lower property taxes. I would certainly suggest that we would, whatever the roads fee is, we would try and lower property taxes commensurate. So you'd be paying the same amount of money, just in different ways. But then it's two different collections, so sometimes that gets a little dicey too. So, Tom, did you have a question?
Yeah, real quickly, you forgot the third option on the taxes, and that is to have the government spend less.
Okay, Tom said the third option. I'm going to repeat because we're videoing this for the third option is the government can spend less. And you're absolutely right. And in fact, toward that aim, I see you. We have actually divided our city budget into 12 parts, and each month we're going to go through one part from zero to what we're spending and identify anything that we think we could cut in our budget and why we're spending that, so that we really have a good idea of every penny we're spending. Brad?
A couple comments. One, you said that Woodland Hills hasn't raised the tax bases, but if the inflation cost or whatever goes up, then the taxes go up, then where's that extra money going?
No. When inflation happens, taxes stay the same. So the city basically loses money because the money's worth less. But in my opinion, everybody doesn't get a raise when inflation goes up either, personally. So you're not necessarily getting more income in your home. I don't know why we should always assume the city is going to get more income just because of inflation.
Okay, well, number two is, I've been here 12 years, and every single year, my house taxes have gone up. So I don't know about what you're saying, if they aren't going up or they're at the level, but every single year I've had an increase in the house taxes
Yours?
on my house, including this year, which tomorrow I'm third thing I'd like to mention is, again, in 12 years I've been here, we've had numerous new buildings, new houses go into Woodland Hills.
Mhm.
We've now had Summer Ridge come into Woodland Hills. This is all adding money to our tax base. So where is this money going?
Well, Summit Creek, we've got new homes, but a lot of new infrastructure. So a lot of the tax bases, their new taxes are going to maintain that infrastructure also.
Aren't
So,
they
I mean,
part
there's,
of Woodland Hills?
pardon?
Aren't they part of Woodland Hills?
Yes, but what I'm saying is, we have more houses, but we have a lot more road. So we're not gonna have
Well,
tons more money.
okay, and that's my.
For the same amount of road.
That's gonna be a separate subject, but while you're talking about more road, are we gonna talk about those stupid gates down there?
We can talk about, believe me, we can talk about the stupid gates. Can we come back to that? Let's see if we have more questions about, I'd like to hear taxing philosophies and.
Let me ask him on his point. You said that our tax base, our revenue is fixed. I don't know what it is. Let's just say $1 million for math purposes.
Okay.
As we have additional houses like mine, I've moved in, I convert an empty lot tax base to a built-up house base. So does our revenue go from $1 million to $1,005,000?
Yes. Yes.
So we are getting increased revenue as additional homes.
Yes, we are. But yes, but then they call it, I think they call it holding the city harmless. So that they just say that if this is how much you collect, then and next year tax values go up, property values go up, then everybody average come down. Some people, unfortunately, don't find that in their homes. But some people have had decreases through the years. And that is counting. Pardon me, I saw a hand over here. Excuse me. Would you stand in? Oh my goodness, stay there if I can.
I had two things and I forgot the first one. One of the biggest-
Diana Sackett, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
One of the big destructions to the roads, besides clearing snow, which we don't want to stop, is the heavy vehicles. So our trash trucks. Maybe we all need to own the fact that if I have a trash can and a recycle can, I can pay a little extra tax so that truck, road maintenance, I don't know. I mean, I'm just spiraling into 12 different categories, but I thought, I'm sitting here thinking, what tears up the roads the most?
Well,
It's
so,
the big vehicles
Right.
and the construction vehicles. So I want to talk about construction vehicles. Can there be an excise tax for just construction projects that brings in the heavy vehicles?
Gary, do you want to speak to this?
We've been looking into this because that was my concern too. We've been looking into this because that was one of my concerns as well, is do we have any sort of impact fee for construction vehicle use? And been looking at other cities, and what it seems to be, we just have some general impact fees that all of you who've built homes pay into that, you know, handle a variety of issues, but we don't have anything specific for that. And other cities have told me what they do is they put a percentage of the overall cost of the construction project and keep that as the road repair budget. You know, that a certain percentage of the overall cost. Now, there are some legal ramifications that we have to ask our city attorney about because we want to be fair and accurate. We don't want it to be an unfair fee that's put on there, but we want to make sure that it does cover, especially, you know, we all have seen that, the big trucks going up and down Woodland Hills Drive, they get onto those side streets that weren't really properly made to begin with, and they just ruin it. So that is something we're looking into.
Our
So,
big new plow does the same thing.
well, Corbett can, I guess, talk to the big
It's
cloud.
a heavy truck. It
But,
goes round and round and round.
But that's what we're looking at as far as construction / commercial vehicles and their traffic.
so does anybody have any, I mean, do you want to speak to the idea of taxes? Jody?
When you look at your taxes, you also want to be careful because the portion that the city might collect, I've noticed, is a lot less. Maybe it's $1 or $2, but your Needle School District taxes
Okay.
and different things like that are really making our taxes
So Jody's pointing out that when you look at your tax bill, the city portion is usually a fairly small portion of that tax bill. It's the Nebo School District has the majority, or the biggest portion. And so I think she's saying before you get angry, make sure that ours really did go up, not just the school district. Lynn?
Lynn Bennett, just a quick question. In the past, haven't we done like special assessments for repairs, like a special service fee or something like that, as an alternative to just a flat tax that maybe, if we're thinking about like we have a big project that we need to do, infrastructure, that we know that, I mean, I like the idea of doing a study, simply because we need to know the life of our infrastructure.
Right.
But if we can plan for that, then maybe if we don't agree that we collect a little bit of taxes, and some of us don't like the shock of a big tax,
Right.
Maybe there's ways to do special assessments based on the project, so it's not the same amount, but it's like, well, this project will be this assessment, and, you know, we're gonna assess for 5 years, you can either do whatever, but I thought in the past we've done that, special assessments for road or infrastructure.
There have been some of those, yes. And sometimes it's done like as bond.
Okay.
And so I'll just tell you, like, personally, philosophically, I am very, save everything you need before you save up before you make your expenditure, and then pay for it, and don't go into debt. And kind of governmentally, I used to feel the same way, and I kind of don't anymore, because if the city's saving money, it's your money. And it feels kind of paternalistic for me to be saying, I'm saving your money because you can't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna save your money for 7 years so we can do a big project, as opposed to telling you, we got a big project coming up, we wanna pass a bond in 7 years, so get ready, you know? And whether you do or not, it's up to you. But you know, you guys may be more comfortable saying, no, we'd rather have you just do it a little bit at a time so that we don't get whacked with a big bill in the end. But the other danger is if the city's saving money, there's a big pot of money that can look really attractive to somebody too.
Can the city invest does anybody know, can the city invest any money that we have in something so that we're getting a return, even if we're collecting money, even if
we do. We actually, we get a pretty good return on some of our.
Okay, so.
We're only allowed to keep 18% of our money each year, so we can't save a lot.
Right, we can't save a lot. And we do have for the size of the city we have a pretty robust replacement, what do you call that, Chris? Yeah, a repair and replace fund to kind of replace the things that we have, the infrastructure we have and equipment we have, so that we can replace those things without yeah.
Don't we on our water bill, I mean, when we're talking about the special assessments and all that, when I get my water bill every month, there's a special assessment on there for, I can't remember the exact wording, but maintenance of the water system or something to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost half of what my water bill is.
Right.
Is that a permanent thing? Is it gonna be on forever? And is that sounds so similar to what we're talking about for roads and
Right.
everything else.
That's exactly what we're talking about for roads.
So
A potential.
Enterprise fund. But
Yes,
the city
enterprise.
doesn't own the water. You're paying your water, right? Do we own it?
big
We do.
house.
It's our own.
You don't own the water, you just own the right to use it.
Yes, we own the right to use the water. But yeah, we're not buying it from somebody else. I saw another hand. Jeff?
Yeah, just an observation. You said that whatever amount you collected in the road use fee, that the general tax would come down. It's kind of offset each other. The problem with that I see is that if you lower that, then you've got less to pay for other things, because you can move this money around from line to line to line.
Right.
But you can't move this money around.
Right.
So it's going to shortchange the city if they have to cut, if there's a shortfall in one.
Well, if it's money that we're already spending on roads, then instead of spending it from the general fund, we'd be spending it from the road fee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but he's saying that you're gonna drop.
You're depleting your general fund or your general budget.
Right.
And that budget, you can move around.
We can move it around.
And pick up shortfalls.
You're losing
So-
So you lose some flexibility.
You lose
Right,
flexibility.
we do lose some flexibility. And you know what? personally as a mayor, I'd rather keep the flexibility, but I sometimes think it's good for you to, for it to be very clear, so you can see where the money is being spent. And so, and some citizens like the idea of the council and mayor not having a ton of flexibility to move money around. But yet sometimes it is very helpful. So, I mean, it's pros and cons both ways. So, did you?
Yeah, I had a comment about your two choices of incremental assessments or assessment all at once. If you say you have a road project you need to do, okay, so it's $1 million, bang, you do it that year and you pay for it. But the road project maybe has accumulated over the last 10 years. So this person has used that road for 10 years, they sell the house or whatever, the new person comes in, they're paying for the whole thing. Whereas the person who helped use that road and wear it out got off scot-free. I think it should be incremental charges.
Okay, so my devil's advocate argument to you on that is that these people paid for the road and then they wore it out. If you do bang, we're not gonna pay for the whole road in 1 year. What we're gonna do is bond. So it would be like a tax increase for 10 years on a bond until the bond's paid off. So that means if you sell your house, we're putting in a new road, now the person coming in is paying for the road for the next 10 years while they're using it, as opposed to we've been saving money the 10 years that you were there before. Now you move out and we use your money to pay for the road for the next 10 years.
Well, but if you look at bonds, sometimes you're gonna pay double what you would pay if you paid for the whole thing up front, where you saved money, then paid for it.
True. Although, right, and we don't know what rates will do in the future. Right now, rates are so stinking low that bonds are really a good deal, but they may not always be. So that, and I agree with you.
We did all new water lines in the place where we lived, and we saved half the money by not doing a bond, and everybody paid the assessment to do all the new lines. And it was like $500,000 rather than $1 million.
That is great.
We didn't do a bond.
Well, and historically in Woodland Hills, we pay bonds off early as often as we can, and we've saved a lot of money that way too. Really kind of scraping and along and paying these bonds off as quickly as we can. So, sorry, Brad, it's Beth's turn, and then you got another thing.
I was just going to mention, I think we need to remember that a lot of the residents who live up here didn't move here when property values were really high and people who came in with a large income to be able to purchase the properties. There's a lot of people who live here that purchased the property that was very low and they have very low incomes. And to come up with a really big sum of money for one fee in 1 year could put them in bankruptcy. So we need to remember that we're not all the same income level, and there's a variety of people who live here, and the ability to live and things like that is very
true, very true. And we don't want to price anybody that lives here out, for sure, because we love our neighbors. Couple hands.
On this road use tax, is there any discussion with these other cities that you can levy the use tax on undeveloped property also, which would then help reduce costs because they have a much lower tax base?
Right. So I don't know. That's one of the things that I really want to talk to Mapleton about. Because I don't know. I suspect there's not a good way to levy that fee on somebody who's just that owns a property that's not a resident. And that is a drawback. However, an undeveloped property, the property taxes they pay to our city as compared to somebody with their home is so much less that we're not really collecting a lot from them anyway.
That's right. That's what's the advantage of levying the road use tax. They have
a fee, except the city has, it's difficult for the city to collect a fee, a monthly fee from somebody that doesn't live here. It's extraordinarily difficult, but I need to find out. That's one of the questions I have for him. And like I said, this is just something I learned about 2 weeks ago, and so it's kind of new to me, but I just kind of wanted to get feedback.